there. I'm your host, Leslie Randolph. I'm a self-confidence coach for teenage girls and the self-confidence coach you wish you had as a teen. Honestly, I'm the self-confidence coach I wish I had as a teen because I know I could have saved myself and my mother a whole lot of heartache if I'd only known then what I know now. I hope to save you some of that suffering by sharing the lessons I learned late in life right here on Why Didn't They Tell Us? Welcome to the show. Hey, happy people. Welcome back to Why Didn't They Tell Us? Y'all, I'm so excited to be in the room with you because I've been waiting to have this conversation for you ever since I recorded my last episode. I want to give you a bit of a behind the scenes or like an in the making of moment for Why Didn't They Tell Us? When I sat down to record that last episode, I did so like I do every other episode, right? I have a list of like key takeaways for the topic we tackle that I want you to take into your world, almost like a greatest hits album, if you will, of what it is we were discussing that week. So when I sat down to record how to do hard things, I did just that, as I always do. I gave you a snack-sized to-do list of actions you can take when you're going after your goals or doing hard things. These were tips that I've used in my own life and strategies I would offer my clients who are doing the same. That said, I knew immediately after I stopped recording, even after I published the podcast, and let's be honest, I alluded to it within the episode, that there was so much more to say on the topic. So we're back here today to explore more. And I'm tying it with a request that I got from one of you, my confidence crew, about how to push through the fear to get where you want to go. Those were her exact words. I love it. How to push through the fear to get where you want to go. Because listen, if we break down hard things, they are really only hard because there is a fear behind them, right? The fear of failure, the fear of success, the fear of rejection, embarrassment, the fear of heartbreak, maybe the fear of hard work. Listen, fill in your flavor of fear, whatever it is, it can stop you from going after what it is you want. It can stop you from even trying. So while last week's episode explored how we can make it easier to do hard things, and if you didn't listen to that one, please do. This week, we're going to talk about feeling the fear and doing it anyway, because that's what I want for you, to go after your goals, to chase your dreams, even when you're afraid. A spoiler alert early on in this episode. Don't you love it when I hit you with a spoiler alert so early? I guess that's my transparency. Listen, fear is coming along for the ride. The same way I always say that even the most confident people in the world still feel doubt. They still feel insecurity. The same thing is true about fear. The secret to self-confidence is not that you never feel doubt, that you never feel insecure, that you never feel afraid. It is that you do not let those emotions stop you from going after what it is you want. I want you to think of like a car on a journey to the destination of your dreams, where all your goals are achieved, all those wonderful wishes are made a reality, okay? And I want you to put fear, insecurity, doubt, all of those emotions in the backseat. Because here's the thing, they're coming along for the ride. Let them tell you which way to turn and veer off. We can't go this way, right? Like that's what a backseat driver does, right? I want confidence, courage, compassion, self-love, and appreciation for your worth in the driver's seat. They are your GPS. They are the ones that are saying, I hear you, backseat drivers. We're not going there. We are staying the course to the destination. right? So, how do you do hard things when you're afraid? As I said, first, you got to listen to last week's episode. I think allowing yourself to consider how you could make it easier to do hard things, it just opens your brain to a new possibility of how to do it. So start there. But let's say you did. Let's say you did and you're like, all right, I took that first step and now I'm paralyzed in fear. Now what? It was kind of like when I said, when I had gone after my big goal and I said, I'm going to let it be easy. And then a couple hours in, I was like, this is hard. Now what? Okay. I want you to do a bit of self-coaching here. And at the heart of coaching is curiosity, asking yourself powerful questions to uncover what it is at the source of your fear and then finding ways to overcome those obstacles. That's all they are. They're obstacles. And for any obstacle, there is a strategy to overcome it. And it all exists within you. So simply ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Now, I want you to play the role of like doubt detective here. Don't just take your first answer and be like, yeah, that makes a total sense in the world. We're not going to do that. No, you need to be a little bit curious, a little bit, I'm not really buying your story, fear, right? I want you to think you're in a room with me and I'm sitting there going, okay, yeah, so what? Mhm. So what? In the most loving way, right? Don't minimize it, but get really curious. What is under that first layer of fear? I'm afraid. Why? What are you afraid of? You got to get really granular. So let's say you want to audition for the play at school, but you're afraid. Ask yourself why. What is that beautiful brain hypothesizing will happen if you do, if you even dare? Let's say you're launching a new business and you want to do your first reel on social media or send out an email announcing your new venture, but you're afraid. Why? What is the worst case scenario your brain is cooking up? You want to apply for a job, but you believe you're totally unqualified and are terrified what would happen if you even tried, if you even raised your hand and said, I could do that. Why? What might happen if you do? So the same way I want you to be your doubt detective, I want you to, like, you're talking to someone else about this, right? I want you to write this down so you can look at it from a different vantage point that is outside of your own mind. In your mind, this worst case scenario is likely a doomsday scenario. And in your own mind, it is 100% what's going to happen. First of all, once it's on paper, it might not even look as scary. And you might be able to see from this different angle, again, outside of that beautiful brain of yours, that the likelihood of this worst case scenario happening, it's slim. But if not, if you're looking at it and you're like, Leslie, it is doomsday and it's gonna happen, I want you to try this on. My coaching mentor, Brooke Castillo, says this often. And it's so powerful if you're willing to just sit in it. If you're willing to believe it. If you're willing to try it. The worst that can happen is an emotion. I'm going to say it again and I'll say it in another way. The worst that can happen ever is a feeling that you will feel. That means that if the doomsday scenario plays out like you already believe it will, keep in mind, you're already experiencing this pain in the confines of that beautiful brain of yours, then the worst that can happen is how you will feel if that comes true. If that comes true. Embarrassed, rejected, heartbroken, like a failure. What flavor of feeling did you identify at the top of the show when I said, what is your fear? If it was success, then perhaps the worst that can happen is, pressure to keep it going. That feeling of exposure or vulnerability. Get it down on paper and identify what the fear is, what that feeling is. The worst that can happen if you take the leap towards what it is you want is how you will feel on the other side. And let's be honest, you're already feeling fear. And fear doesn't always feel so great. So let's just trade that paralyzing emotion for another one that may or may not even happen, right? You might get rejected, but you might also get the part in the play. You might get your first client from that reel or the email. You might get the job. You might feel heartbroken if you tell that special someone how you feel. Or you might just make a beautiful connection. But my friend, you'll never know if you stay in fear. Remember, fear, it can come along for the ride. And it will come along for the ride. As long as you are a human being with breath in your body, fear is coming. But it doesn't need to stop you unless you let it. Please don't let it. Your dreams deserve more. You deserve more. Now, I am not downplaying the power of emotions. They can hurt when you're in them, right? Listen, my daughter is in her Olivia Rodrigo era. And every time I listen to Driver's License or literally any track off that album, I am brought back to my teenage self and just like embodying that heartbreak. Woo. Yes, that was very real. Yes, it hurt when I was in it. But please hear me when I say this. Milk has a longer shelf life than most emotion. It's one of my favorites. I say it with frequency. They don't and they can't last forever without your permission. Feel them. If you make it to the other side of what it is you want to do, and that worst case scenario happens, if it happens, then just feel those emotions. Process them. Cry. I did a lot of those in my teen years. Scream, journal, however it is that you can feel that emotion and allow it to have its moment. Feel it all. When you are willing to feel any emotion, then you are able to live a limitless life. Truly. If you aren't afraid to feel any emotion, nothing can stop you. All you need to do is poke holes in fear's very compelling story to just take action and go after what it is you want. Because the alternative of not is regret. And that is one emotion you can't shake. That is one emotion that lingers and reminds you of what could have been. But if you're listening to this today, then I know it's not too late for you. It's not too late for you to go after what you want, what you are so worthy of, even if you're afraid. My friends, why didn't they tell us that fear was part of the process? It's coming along for the ride, whether you like it or not. Being fearless might be too far a leap, but fearing less is always an option. Because what you're really afraid of is simply another feeling. And I'd rather you feel that because you went all in on your dreams, all in on yourself, all in on believing in you, than wondering what could have been. Wondering what could have been if you simply chose to believe in you. You know I believe in you. Borrow that belief, my friend, and the courage that comes along with it. The courage that comes when you choose to believe in yourself and take action from that belief, even in the face of fear. I can't wait to see what happens when you do. Till next time, my friends. Hey, moms, if you're looking for some tips to help your teen daughter cultivate confidence, I've got you. Click the link in show notes for my free guide, 6 simple steps to help your teen cultivate self-confidence. You can also find additional resources on my website at confidencecoachforgirls.com. That's confidencecoachforgirls.com. You got this, mama. I got you always. Love what you hear? Well, I'd love to hear from you. You can find me at confidencecoachforgirls.com. That's confidencecoachforgirls.com. Or email me at lesliethelifecoach@gmail.com. That's lesliethelifecoach@gmail.com. Hope to hear from you.